Hey there everyone, I've covered a ton of Half-Life mods on my channel, so I thought I should make a tier list on all of them. This video serves as a retrospective, a recap on my channel for newer viewers. I can also share some updated opinions on some of these mods because I've talked about some of them like 3 years ago at this point. So yeah, let's get right into it and find out which are my favorite and my least favorite mods. Before we get into it, consider subscribing and supporting me on Patreon. It really helps a lot and makes like my costumes and everything else possible. You also get some exclusive and early videos on there. So the link is in the description, please consider checking it out. Thank you. Okay, now first up we've got the classic Entropy 02. I don't think I need to debate much about this. You basically don't get any closer to a perfect mod than with Entropy 02. There's some people who don't like the bad cop dialogue, but I think that's nitpick even if you don't like it. There's so many tie-ins to the story, so many cool moments in there, so many cut enemies brought back, a great story they're telling, a very clear, if not the clearest of clear, S tiers. Now next up we've got Delta Particles. Yes, we're also doing Half-Life 1 mods on here. Delta Particles is a fan favorite, and even though it isn't set at Black Mesa, it still ties into the events of Half-Life 1. Diana is a fan favorite companion, and I would be stupid to put this anywhere other than S tier as well. Great level design, great custom weapons, a great story going on, nothing to complain about really. Now next up we've got Half-Life Get Alive. This is a classic Half-Life 2 mod. I don't believe this is set in the Half-Life 2 universe. It's about like you having cancer or something and going to find a cure if I remember correctly. Honestly, I don't really remember. The story was pretty confusing, and it mostly felt like a bunch of mappers came together to just create the maps that they want, which should always be the case, but in this case, they were so random. You had some levels that looked like Counter-Strike levels, some of them looked like they were made for Half-Life 2, and then others were a church underground. It's a really crazy mix. Thankfully, the gameplay is mostly fun, there were some odd moments in there, but overall, it's still fun. It lasts for about 2 to 3 hours or something, and it unfortunately is noticeable that this mod is very old, which is why I'm putting this at the top of C tier for now. If you're a fan of Half-Life mods and like some jankiness though, this is still recommendable, this is a great mod still. Next up we've got The Citizen, a Half-Life 2 mod I talked about not so long ago actually. It again ties into the Half-Life 2 story pretty well. It has some good level design, some cool moments in there, but unfortunately it is noticeable how old it is once again. It mostly makes up for this by having custom characters with custom voice actors which were really fun. Like you actually fall in love with these characters as you play this mod and are scared of something happening to them. Which would never happen, of course. You actually feel like you're achieving something in the Resistance. Then again, unfortunately, the ending is insanely goofy and abrupt. And given we have giants like Entropy 02 and Delta Particles in S tier, this one is only going to be a low A tier. Next up we've got a level from the Half-Life 2 workshop called Tele Aqua. This one is very short and I can't really claim that I remember that much about it. You are on a coast and storm like some combine base and then defeat them, I think, at the end. I think there was like a big explosion or something, I don't know. I mostly remember this being fun though it was very short and it wasn't like anything spectacular, which is why I'm putting this at C tier as well. And yes, we're ranking these mods on every aspect including the length of them. I'm basically rating them on an entertainment scale, basically. How much entertainment can you get out of them? That's like what I'm going for mostly. Next up we've got Sweet Half-Life. And oh boy, where do I start with this one? The only thing I really remember about this mod is that my video on it did insanely well. It's still getting views even like, what, 1 or 2 years after its release? Which I'm not complaining about, just to be clear. Keep watching it, please. I remember this mod having a bit of confusing level design, some weird elements to it. I like the alien race they added, which yes, they added aliens to this. There were multiple endings, including one where you go on a spaceship and play out like the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey. This mod basically feels like if you played Half-Life 1 and then took acid midway through. There's another path though, which is a bit more normal, and you get like this cool sequence there where you kill a gargantua with a giant laser, which is kinda cinema to be honest. I'm giving this one a strong B tier. Next up we've got Half-Life Insecure, another Half-Life 1 mod. This mod is another Resonance Cascade perspective mod, which I'm not complaining about, I love those mods. You play as a security guard, and I remember this mod having AI voices back when it released, which I didn't like at all, but now it's got real voice acting, so I think that's fine. I like the Zen bit at the end, the overall gameplay in the middle of it was fine if I recall correctly. Yeah, I think I liked it, I remember I like it. I can't really think of any complaints. And this mod lasts for like 3, 4 or 5 hours with custom enemies inside of it as well, which was fun. So yeah, this is an S tier, but it's still pretty clearly under Delta Particles, if you ask me at least. Okay, I honestly don't know why this next one is in here. This is my Gmod horror map that I made in 2013. I was 10 years old back when I made this, okay? This map is a clear D tier, but let me defend myself real quick. As I said, I was like 10 or 11 years old when I made this, which is why it's so bad. But also the standard for Garry's Mod horror maps was way lower back then. It wasn't this bad because even back then this map was a D tier, but yeah, it's awful, I can't really defend it to be honest. Next up we've got Half-Life 2 Silent Escape, which is a very underrated mod if you ask me. There are multiple voice characters in this, it is set in the Half-Life universe and there's a story going on involving the characters which was really fun. There isn't really a much grander connection to anything else, which is totally fine. The only reason this mod isn't in S tier is because it's somewhat short. It's like 1 hour long, I think. But this gets a very clear top of A tier. Very, very clear top of A tier. But this next mod is a bit of an inception. Let me tell you why. This is the whole Half-Life Tower source. This was a mapping competition hosted in 2024, I believe. The goal for the mappers was to create a level in a tower, and outside of the dimensions for it, they had complete creative freedom to do whatever they want in there. This led to some very varied and creative designs. Some of them better and some of them worse since they were made by different mappers. Which is why my video about this mod is a tier list as well, because I ranked each entry in a tier list. So this is technically a tier list in a tier list. An odd concept, I know. Ranking it overall though, there were some great entries in there, like seriously great peak entries, and some very shit entries. But the shit entries in mapping competitions are part of the charm while you play them. Like it's fun to go from like a peak level to like someone's first attempt at mapping, which is why I'm putting this at the bottom of A tier. If you want my direct review of every single map in there, go watch my video on it after this one. It didn't get a lot of views back then, but I think it's a very good video still. By the way, let me know in the comments how many mappers are that I would take part in a mapping competition that I host. If enough people are interested, I will do something like that. Maybe play all the entries in a stream or something. The next mod is Point of View, a Half-Life 1 mod where you play as a Vortigaunt. This one also ties into the events of Half-Life 1 and another mod that we'll get to later down the line. And yeah, I think this is a novel concept. The mod is somewhat long if I remember correctly. I think it lasts for like 2 or 3 hours. You get to play as a Vortigaunt, you get to read like the diary. It's about you escaping the control of the Nihilant, which was interesting enough. I thought the ending to this mod was pretty fun, which I won't spoil for you obviously. So yeah, A tier I think. The concept of playing as a Vortigaunt gets a bit boring by the end of it, even though you get a lot of weapons. Oh, next up we've got an underrated one. Transmission Element 120. This one is on Steam actually. It isn't that long of a mod. A skilled Half-Life player will take an hour to play this, but you get a unique weapon in here, a very unique weapon. A gravity gun that can shoot energy boards with which you can jump, like do rocket jumps basically. And this is such a cool concept, it's so fun to play. And also the soundtrack to this mod is absolute peak. You're listening to it right now and this is my favorite soundtrack of any mod ever. It's got a unique style to it, the level design is top notch honestly. It looks super great and the combat is really fun thanks to this new weapon. You get a cool boss fight at the end against multiple striders and yeah, S tier. I seriously consider this a must play. I should make a full video about it to be honest. I only covered this in like my 3 great Half-Life mod series back in the day. The next mod is Half-Life Caged, a Half-Life 1 mod where you escape a prison. In Miami, I think? And I must admit I have a hard time remembering this one, but I think it was very fun honestly. It wasn't that long as well, 1 hour or something, but it's cool. I give this a solid A tier. Probably a low A tier to be honest. I was thinking solid B, bottom A. I think it's bottom A tier because there isn't any complaints I can remember honestly. I'm gonna put it right in front of the whole Half-Life Tower. Okay, now this next one is interesting. Raising the Bar Redux. You guys probably all know it, the Half-Life 2 beta mod. I was debating even putting this on here because it's a beta recreation, it's not like its own story. But I think the Half-Life 2 beta mods are like a complete interpretation of the beta material. I think that's very much an own creation, even though you have like some guidelines you're following. Those that Valve set back when they made the Half-Life 2 beta. Well, back when they made Half-Life 2 and it was still in beta, they didn't really set out to make a beta. Whatever, you get what I'm saying. And yeah, Raising the Bar Redux is an insanely great mod. Especially the newest update, like the newest few chapters are really, really well made. I think the people that didn't like Raising the Bar in the first few chapters back when only those existed, I think you will like it now with the new chapters released because they are peak. So yeah, Raising the Bar Redux. I think this is another S tier. We've got great voice acting, everything's perfect really. This next one is Half-Life Edge of Darkness, and I'll be completely honest, I 100% forgot what this mod is about. I think I remember something about like some facility in like the mountains, I think? I mean, given it's that forgettable, and I think I remember it being like only 20 minutes long or something, I only really remember the vibe of playing this mod, and I think that vibe is a C tier. At least in this tier list, that is, because we've got Sweet Half-Life in B tier, which is a really great mod, and a pretty long mod as well. So yes, this will have to be C tier. Oh, now next up, we've got a very important mod for this channel, really. Thunder's Leaves. If you don't mind me doing a bit of a story time, I had my big break with YouTube with the Half-Life 2 Repo League, where I covered like cut aspects of Half-Life 2. Those were like 2 videos, and then I got into mods because that has always been my favorite topic. But I did it in like a format where I covered 3 mods at once, again and again, and it didn't really get that many views. And so I tried making a long video about 1 mod and I thought maybe this will do it, and if it doesn't, I will give up. That was my plan. I thought if this video doesn't do well, I will give up on YouTube. And well, here we are. The Thunder's Leaves video went viral, and I made like, I think my first like somewhat decent money on YouTube with that video. Okay, story time over. This mod as a whole, it's like this really great concept. It's like set in the far future after the Common have been mostly defeated already. You're part of a resistance group that is rebuilding Earth, really rebuilding society, and you're still fighting the remnants of the Combine's army. The environments of this mod are top tier. Like, I have such a clear vision of this mod in my head, like how it looks and everything, and the custom soundtrack to it is great as well. One of my favorites as well, like those singular guitar string plays, peak. So yeah, this mod is definitely better than Silent Escape. It's better than Raising the Bar Redux. I'd say, like, for me personally, this is a very subjective list. I hope you've realized this at this point. It's better than Transition Elements 120, better than Half-Life Insecure, and yeah, that's why I'll leave it. I think it isn't better than Delta Particles, like, to be fair. Next up, we've got Half-Life 2 Precursor. This one also ties into the lore of Half-Life 2 in a nice way, but only at the very, very end of it, which I won't spoil because it's like a pretty cool twist. Yeah, I think this one was really fun. I don't remember that many aspects of it. I think you start in City 17 and make your way to like White Forest, like at least that forest area of it. And White Forest doesn't exist at this point, which is an important plot point. I won't tell you any more about it though. I do remember some flaws with it as well though. I remember like some areas looking a bit bland, like the combat wasn't that great all of the time. That being said, it's still really good. I think this is at the top of B tier, and I will have to make an adjustment. The whole Half-Life Tower Source will have to go to B tier because I know like what bad maps are in there as well. So I think it's only fair if it's in the complete middle because it's got great entries and bad entries. So it's the middle. I think that makes sense. Time for another heavy hitter. Black Mesa Blue Shift. Do I need to say anything more? It's the Black Mesa remake of Blue Shift, and it's flawless. It expands the most fun areas of Blue Shift and shortens down the worst of them. Rosenberg segments. Even the Rosenberg segment is greatly enhanced by adding even more characters that all dynamically interact with one another. This mod is flawless. There's still 2 chapters that have yet to release, and I think once those 2 release, there will never be a reason for the average player to go back to Half-Life Blue Shift. You should only play this, I'ma be real. Unless you specifically want to know what Half-Life Blue Shift was like for historic reasons, but outside of that, Black Mesa Blue Shift is just so much better in every aspect. The one critique of Black Mesa Blue Shift, which the team is working on thankfully, is that Zen is too long. The mod is already like a great 5 hours before Zen, and then you've got like another 6 hours of Zen after that, and at the end it starts to get too long. And me personally, this is very subjective, I really hate like the Black Mesa factory Zen areas, but also in Half-Life 1 like Interloper. I hate all of those, like not my cup of tea. I don't know why, I really hate it. But even trying to like be more objective with it, it's still too long. And so this is S tier, very clear S tier still, but behind Entropy 02. That's the best I can give it because of the very long Zen area. If Zen was trimmed down a bit, if Zen was only like 70% of what it is now, peak. This next mod is a joke mod. Too many crates. You have to go into like some building and destroy all the crates you can find in there. And those that you can't find, you have to like do puzzles to find all of them. This mod is not fun. It sucks. To be quite honest. The only way it is good and enjoyable is if you're watching a streamer play it or like a YouTuber, like Jolly Wanker for example. I think we've all watched his playthrough of it, it's got like a ton of views. That way it's fun. It makes for good content. But outside of that, given that it's good content and it isn't broken at least, that like there's something to consider, this will go in top of D tier. It's at the top of D tier, and yeah. Next up we've got Raising the Bar Salvation. This is a spin-off mod of Raising the Bar Redux. Yes, we are doing spin-off of mods. And in this one you play in Beta Ravenholm as Father Grigori after Gordon leaves. And you like retrace your steps that you took as Gordon and then escape Ravenholm at the end. Slight spoiler, but there's way more to it, I promise. During that you have like flashbacks of your dead wife, Annabelle I think she's called, which is why your gun is called Annabelle. Yeah, this one is really fun. It's got like this hardcore mode, which is like a 1 life mode. If you die you have to go all the way back, which makes sense because this mod only lasts for like 45 minutes I think. And in those 45 minutes it lasts, it's flawless. It's got such great level design, but it is only really taken from Raising the Bar Redux. There's some small new like paths you take, but mostly it's the same. And yeah, I think I'll stick it right behind Raising the Bar Redux. If you enjoy Raising the Bar Redux, you'll enjoy this. But it's like, it's only like a short spin-off, so it isn't that as great as Raising the Bar Redux. And I think I'll even add to that, I think I'll only put it at the top of A tier because it is really short. And it's like you're playing the same levels you've already played, so yeah, top of 18. Next up, we've got a mod that I only very recently talked about a few weeks ago, Half-Life Absolute Redemption. A Half-Life 1 mod where you try and recover like Zen moths for the Gman. This mod released before Half-Life 2 did, which is why you're playing as Gordon Freeman after Half-Life 1, and you're a employee of the Gman, which makes sense, which is also what happens in Half-Life 2 to be fair. But you then get teleported across Earth to like find these moths at different places and bring them back. This mod was actually sold alongside Counter-Strike CD. It was one of the games on there, which is also the context I talked about it in. I talked about all the mods on that CD. And this mod is awful. It really isn't fun. There's like this carnival section to it. Like, the carnival was pretty fun. It's also very, not broken. I think I know why it broke for me. It's very unclear what you're supposed to do though at many points. I can't recommend playing this, to be quite honest. Which is why this mod will have to go into D tier. It's pretty bad, unfortunately. This next mod is a bit of an unknown one again. It's only Half-Life 2 Workshop, that's where I found it at least. It's called Overflow. This is a very short mod, it only lasts for like 20 minutes maybe, where you were simply fighting in City 17 after Half-Life 2. I think the Citadel was exploded at this point. It's got a bit of a canal section, it's got a bit of a canal section and a canal section afterwards. After that there's a parking garage for a small bit there as well. No complaints. The level design is really great. Like, it's only canals for most of it, but those canals are really, really well made. You've got characters to fight alongside of. They don't have voice actors, but it was still fun, you know, fighting alongside a few rebels against like Metro Cops and stuff. Unfortunately, this mod ends really abruptly, if I recall correctly. You get into like an elevator and suddenly it's just over. And you're given that and its very short length. It's top of B tier. Next up, we've got Half-Life Paranoia. This one was also sold, I believe. I think this was like sold in stores, at least in some parts of the world. If I remember correctly, I may be wrong on this. Yeah, this mod is really fun. This is like a horror mod. There was like this one super scary section to it that it was peak. Up until the point where the monster is revealed, which is when it kind of dipped the scariness of it. But the build-up was like, half the game was build-up, followed by combat for the rest of it, which just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't that great, I guess. Like in terms of horror at least. The combat was fun mostly. The enemies felt a bit unfair in my playthrough, from what I recall. And the ending came somewhat too quickly. Like, it could have lasted longer, I think. It lasts for about like 1.5 hours or something. For that horror moment, like the build-up there, it is really great. I'm gonna put this in A tier behind Silent Escape. I can't recommend this as much as Silent Escape, but it's still fun. Like, if you like Half-Life 1 mods and horror in them, this is peak. And we will get to the sequel a bit later. Trust me that we will. Next up, we've got Trek to Borealis, another map of the Half-Life 2 Workshop. It was originally submitted to the Episode 3 competition, back when Half-Life writer Mark Laidlaw released his version of Episode 3, Half-Life 2 Episode 3, called Episode 3 at the time, which he has since claimed was just fanfiction and not really like an official attempt at the Half-Life story, which is fair enough. The story isn't possible anymore given Half-Life Alyx at this point. Yeah, that story, there was a mapping competition about it, to make a map that fits into that version of the Episode 3 story. And this was one of the entries. And to this day, it is the only completed Episode 3 mod. Which is to say that it starts in the middle and ends in the middle, but it is a completed mod, and it's pretty fun. It lasts about 5 minutes though, which I will have to take into account. But it's got some fun combat in there, some great looks. You get a bit of the Borealis in there, which was also fun, even though it was way too small in that depiction of it. But yeah, this is still a top of C tier. Again, mostly for its length. It's flawless, but it is 5 minutes long. I can't put it above like Sweet Half-Life or something. Next up, we've got Poke 646. One of my most embarrassing videos ever because I made a critical mistake in it. This mod also released before Half-Life 2 did. And it tried to make a sequel to Half-Life 1, and I kept going on about how it doesn't make sense to fit in the Half-Life 2 lore. Totally my fault. This mod is great. You're part of a cleanup crew of the alien invasion of Half-Life 1, which all things considered does kind of fit into Half-Life's lore, because I would imagine something like that existing. But between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, only a few days passed. But that's at least the accepted theory at this point. We don't know for exactly sure, but it's what everything's hinting towards. So yeah, something like this wouldn't really have had the time to be set up, I don't think. If we ignore the fallacy though, and given the fact it's released before Half-Life 2 anyways, this is a fun continuation of Half-Life 1. It's got great level design, a unique aesthetic to it. For some reason I remember it being like teal and orange, which it wasn't. There wasn't a lot of orange going on, but it's got a great design. There's some custom weapons in there. You get the nail gun, which is iconic. And the end of it is rather sad, but there's a sequel to it, which I will just count into this because it really just feels like a natural extension of it. And I think it's of the same quality as the first one. And overall, Poke 646, it has aged a bit, given it's over 20 years old, but it's still awesome. I can only recommend playing it. I'm putting this above Half-Life Paranoia, but it's basically at the same point for me. You know what isn't at the same point as Half-Life Paranoia? Its sequel. Half-Life Paranoia 1 was so good and it left me wanting more, which is why it was so disappointing to play the sequel. It switched engines to Sash 3D, a Half-Life 1 engine mostly used for like mobile adaptations of Half-Life, but it can also be used to make like a unique mod of it. At this point, it's basically a unique game. And that isn't anything bad. What is bad though is that this game feels like an asset flip, basically. You've got like all these assets squished together. They don't really feel like they make sense. You got soldiers running at speed that don't match their animations. The only cool segment were like the first 3 minutes, where you run together with soldiers back into the facility you first stormed in Paranoia 1. But yeah, everything afterwards, oh my god, it was bad. It was so bad. Oh my god, it sucked. Holy shit, I'm not even exaggerating, it's so bad. The gameplay was awful, the levels were awful, the navigation in those levels was awful. The story twist at the end, I guess it was something, but I just didn't care. I couldn't care at all because it was so bad. This game is worse than my Gman horror map. Like, that's as far as I'm going. Like, you can at least like laugh about my Gman horror map. You can't laugh at this. This is worthless. This is worthless content. This shouldn't have been made. Honestly, if I could sway the creators of Paranoia, just scrap Paranoia 2, act like that never happened, and then do another sequel to Paranoia that is actually good, because Paranoia 2 currently, oh my god, it's awful. Next up, we've got Power Tower, another Half-Life 2 workshop mod. This one is also very short, but it's pretty well made in those like 30 minutes less or something. Genuinely not a lot to add. You're like another rebel taking down a combine outpost in the forest. It's fun. I'll put it in B tier. It's a bit lower than Overflow because I remember Overflow's level design being better, but they're like on the same playing field basically. Okay, we've got another big one. Black Mesa Military. In this one you play as an HECU soldier, and it mostly feels like playing as Adrian Shepard, even though that isn't the case. You are not playing as Adrian Shepard. Yeah, what is there to say about it? Great level design again, great characters, like recurring characters. It is one of these shorter Black Mesa mods that exist, but it's still like 2 hours long. I had some small problems with it. I don't think the story was conveyed that well, like what was going on and stuff. I think I remember that being like a tiny problem, but that's like 100% nitpick, like complete nitpick. My highlight of it was the scout you get, like the sniper. It was so good. Or also you get to fight Gordon in that mod. It's at the section at the end of the Anomalous Materials labs, where Gordon leaves Black Mesa for the first time. Like, you play as one of the HECU soldiers fighting him, and you get killed, but not actually, you actually wake up again. So yeah, this mod ticks all the boxes. It will be below Blue Shift just because of the length alone. Blue Shift was 10 hours, this one was like 2 or 3 hours. And there were like some minor problems I remember about it. But again, minor problems. I'm going to put this below Thunder Sleeves for me. That's where I put it. A few spots below Blue Shift, but still S tier. I mean, come on, it's S tier. This tier list is making me realize I should talk about more bad mods on my channel. Like, we've got a lot more S tiers coming up. You know what definitely isn't S tier? Half-Life Prospekt. This is another very old video of mine where I talk about a paid Half-Life mod on Steam. It cost 5 or 10 euros, I think, and this mod serves as a continuation of Half-Life Opposing Force. You play as Adrian Shepard in this. Unfortunately, it makes like such huge wrong assumptions about the Half-Life lore that it's not that good. It really isn't that good. The first few moments were good. You play in Nova Prospekt. The levels were pretty dark from what I remember. There were like some flashbacks going on there, which were fun. The voice acting was good. But then later levels get really confusing. They all look really good, but the gameplay wasn't super fun. And then like the final third of it, or the final half of it, is on like this combined spaceship. And yeah, I didn't like those levels really. That being said, it tried. It's pretty long. But like midway through, you will lose interest. Like, I think most people will stop playing this, and especially for costing money, which is a major factor in this, the fact that you have to pay money for it, which I would much rather have paid to Entropy 02 or Black Mesa Blue Shift or any other of the S tier mods. Yeah, this one will have to go in C tier. I'll put it at the bottom of C tier, like below Tele Aqua. It's still got like some enjoyment to it, but it's not worth playing, and especially not worth paying for it. Oh no, this shall be interesting. Dark Interval. Another Half-Life 2 beta mod. I don't really have to explain much. They again took some aspects of the Half-Life 2 beta story and interpreted them in a unique way. This one is way more dark and gritty than Raising the Bar Redux. It's really worth playing both, which may sound weird to like new fans, but they're so vastly different in their interpretation of the story. It's really worth playing both. In my videos about these beta mods, I keep going on about how much I hate people comparing them, and it sucks to do, and I hate that I have to do it right now because that's the big question to everyone. Will I put it above or below Raising the Bar Redux? What will I do? And I think I know my choice, but I just want to say, I think it isn't that deep. Just play both. You don't have to choose, right? You can play both. And to be very clear, both of them are on the exact same level to me. Like, I don't know what score it would be. Let's say it's 9.0 for Raising the Bar Redux. I'll give Dark Interval a 9.001. I put it lightly above there, which is only due to the fact, like the singular thing putting me above there is this view. This view really like, this one, I can close my eyes and see it. Like, I'm on a green screen right now, but I know what it looks like. I already know what this scene will look like because holy shit, this looks good. So yeah, that's my one reason for putting it above Raising the Bar Redux in this, but they're basically the same rating for me. And they both got their own upsides and downsides. Oh, here's another mod I talked about many years ago, Half-Life 2 Panopticon. This one is very interesting. The level design doesn't look great, I'll be upfront about that. It looks cheap, like someone's first attempt. But it's got the unique aspect of taking place in the Half-Life 2 lore in like a coast town, and you join the Resistance. And it's about you joining the Resistance and doing like small tasks for them. It's like this quest, like it's like an Half-Life 2 RPG game basically. There is no voice acting, which is like something I really wish this mod would have. Like if the creators are watching this by any chance, please remake this mod, like a Panopticon Redux version with voice acting and better level design. I would pay for that, like I'd be so interested in that because this mod is really fun. But it does suffer from like a lot of shortcomings. And I don't really remember how it ended. I think there was like this boss fight against an APC or something. I think this mod has a ton of potential and this is like a great prototype of it. And really is worth playing, which is why I put it at the bottom of B tier. Something that may have become apparent already. I didn't want to cover too many Combine mods in this video because I did a Combine tier list like 2 months ago, so it's kind of redundant. I only took like the very important ones of it. This includes Combine Destiny. Combine Destiny is very likely the very first Combine mod ever made. It's a German mod as well, was mir sehr nah am Herzen liegt, but unfortunately it does show its age. It's one of the first Half-Life 2 mods in general, having released in 2004 I believe, or maybe 2005, one of the two. And yeah, this mod is god-awful. A lot of people, I'm sorry, a lot of people said they really liked this mod back when I played it like as a child, and I really don't want to take away from that. Enjoy this mod, please, enjoy it. If you like any of these mods in D tier, please do. This isn't the correct opinion, okay? This is subjective. And very subjectively, I think this mod sucks ass. But yeah, I will respect it for the fact that it's the first Combine mod ever made. So yeah, Combine Destiny, it's a D tier. But not the bottom of it at least, it's right below Absolute Redemption. Next up we've got Entropy Zero Uprising. This is an Entropy Zero mod not made by the Entropy Zero team, and it's set at the time where Gordon and Alex are teleporting out of Nova Prospekt to Kleiner's lab, which is a 1-week time period if you may remember, and due to the Resistance thinking that Gordon died in the battle in Nova Prospekt, they started the rebellion, the Uprising. And Entropy Zero Uprising starts right where the Nova Prospekt teleport happens. And this mod, peak S tier, in front of Black Mesa Blue Shift, I'll be real. This mod is considered by many to be better than Entropy Zero 2, which I think is fair. It's not my opinion, but I think it's fair. This one is more serious in tone, like you don't have this Duke Nukem-like main character, and the environments this mod is set in is great. Like this is one of the best mods ever made. Very clearly, like easily said. I can't really go into every detail, this is only episode 1 of this mod, and it's got multiple endings, which are all great, especially one that isn't canonical because I won't say why, but it's not the canon ending, but that ending is so beautiful. And the second episode of this mod is gonna be releasing in like 1 or 2 years from what it looks like. I have no confirmation though, so it may take even longer, but it looks like it's gonna be like 1 or 2 years maybe. And I can't wait to see that. I'm as hyped about Entropy Zero Uprising 2 as I am for Entropy Zero 3 and Half-Life 3. Like, it's gonna be so good. We're going to the quarantine zone in episode 2. Oh my god, am I hyped. Okay, but let me stop myself. Yeah, S tier, very clearly. Next up, we've got Half-Life 2 Amalgam. This is a mod I played on stream very recently. I'd never covered this in a video, but it's really good. It's on Steam, which a lot of people will like because they are too scared to move one folder. I know who you are. Please learn how to install mods that aren't on Steam. Like, it's so easy, please do it. But anyways, Half-Life 2 Amalgam is really good. It's got a bit of a story going on. You enter like a citadel building at the end. I don't remember too much, to be honest. I kind of forgot everything. Like, most specifically, I forgot the beginning of it, but I remember it being very good. Like, I remember leaving it and thinking, wow, this is a peak mod. It also lasts for like 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, this mod is a tier. I think it's A tier, very clearly. The only reason it isn't S tier is because it's missing like a huge spectacle moment that is required for me of like S tier mods. I don't remember anything like that happening in this mod, but it's super solid. It's super great. So yeah, top of A tier for this mod. The next mod is the Burton Equation. I talked about this one like half a year ago, I think at this point. This is about you time traveling in the Half-Life 2 lore, even though it probably doesn't fit into the Half-Life 2 lore if you're all being real. And yeah, you fight like in like noir times, which is 1930s or something. You fight during World War II, you fight in like 1960s Miami, and during current day in Half-Life 2. This mod is really well made. I wish it would have been longer, but I also get why it isn't, because I had to like completely make like different aesthetics for each singular time travel period. But yeah, of those 4 chapters, I enjoyed each of them. I think the Miami one was the most tedious one. I also really like the ending boss fight. You've got this very clear villain the entire time, which was a lot of fun. And I like the hints of a story you get, which I also won't spoil. So yeah, because the Miami chapter wasn't like I had problems with it. I thought it was a bit boring, like because you kept going up the same levels and they were all like very samey. And because it's like a quarter of the game, this will only go in A tier, right behind Poke 646. That's where I'll be putting it. It's time for another mod I talked about just recently, Black Mesa Route to Evacuation. As of this moment, only chapter 1 of this mod exists, or like 2 chapters, but it's like episode 1. It's very short, it's like 1 hour long, and we can't really judge like the whole thing because of that, because we've got like what I assume to be like a quarter of it by now only, like we're still getting so many chapters probably. And yeah, I'll judge it like it's a completed mod now. The ending is a bit of a cliffhanger if we are judging it on that basis. But it's fine, it's a good cliffhanger because we know we're getting more. It's got stealth segments, it's got some cool puzzles, the combat was really fun. No complaints really. I'm putting this at the very bottom of S tier. But yeah, keep in mind, as of this video's release, only 2 chapters have released, so if you're seeing this video in like 2030 or something, this probably isn't accurate anymore. Also, am I still alive? Comment below if you're 2030 right now. Did I die? Did Half-Life 3 release? That's even more important. Next up, we've got another mod that is very underrated, I think. A video of mine that performed horribly, which I didn't expect. This mod is called Silent Hill Alchemilla. I believe it fits into canon, but from what I've heard, the Silent Hill canon is very complicated. I'm not deep in the Silent Hill lore, like, I don't claim myself to be a Silent Hill fan because I've never played any of the games, except for this mod, Silent Hill Alchemilla. And I think it's really good. It's a horror mod set in multiple locations you know from Silent Hill, and I think it does a really great job at all of this. Like, the story is cool, the places you visit are cool, the atmosphere is really well made, like really scary. There's however this one aspect about it that will ruin the game for you as soon as I tell you. There's no enemies, no monsters, no nothing. It's just a walking simulator. The atmosphere is so incredible, but it never really leads anywhere since, again, there are no creatures to be found. At one point there are mannequins which follow you around, which is pretty creepy, but outside of that you've got nothing. It really is a walking simulator with puzzles. And some of those puzzles are pretty awful, I'm gonna be honest. They rely on you like interpreting information in like who's most evil, who's least evil, which is very subjective in these stories because it's about like medical patients and their history of drugs and whatever. Like, who's to judge? There's like 5 people. It doesn't really make sense. But yeah, the level design, the atmosphere, and the music is peak. It's absolute peak, like genuinely. I just wish there was enemies. If there was enemies, we'd be talking about A or ST here. Currently, with this information that there's never a creature in there, or any NPC or combat, which is pretty integral to Silent Hill if I understand correctly. Yeah, C tier, unfortunately. Very unfortunately a C tier. Why the hell do I have that image? Why is there Saul Goodman in front of Freeman? Freeman and Bob. It's Freeman and Bob. I remember I downloaded that image because there wasn't an image of that mod. I think it was part of another mapping competition, like about like having a companion. It's like this short puzzle combat mix where you guide an NPC to do things for you. It's a pretty cool mod. It's very short, but for what it is, it's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a low B tier. I think it's fun how you play around with like stuff. Oh, let's talk about Residual Point and Residual Life. This is another video that's somewhat recent of mine. It's like these Half-Life 1 mods that are pretty regular up to a certain point, up until the story goes crazy. Again, it's like a Half-Life 1 mod where you suddenly take acid. Residual Point is definitely the more normal of the two, and there's some weird moments in there, but overall this is like a regular Half-Life 1 mod. I'm gonna give that one a B tier. I'm putting it above Sweet Half-Life. I remember having less problems with Residual Point than Sweet Half-Life. And Residual Life, well, it depends on which ending you play. It has like these grand secrets mixing the lore of like different anime together with Half-Life and loads of other things. A normal path of Residual Life is pretty fun. There's like, here's a graphic that I made back then. You can play this mod in so many different ways. The one that you'll likely play is fine. That'd be like middle of B tier. If you do like the long secret path though, that's a torture. That's like, I said this in the video and I still stand by this. The hardest thing you can do in Half-Life if you do this without cheats. Like, I don't think that's ever been done without cheats. The one playthrough that exists on YouTube was done with cheats, so if you want to do the hardest challenge ever, play the Residual Life secret path without cheats. Good luck on that. And yeah, I unfortunately falsely claimed that Residual Life had like some, like, porn elements in there, like there were some disgusting images. The mod was griefed by someone else, that wasn't the original creator, so sorry to the original creator for claiming that in the original video. So yeah, as much as the secret path sucks, I respect it. I respect making like this 10-hour secret that most people will never see. I remember breaking my brain around this mod for like 3 solid weeks because I kept trying to figure out this complicated lore, but I did it in the end. And in hindsight, it was pretty fun. Yeah, this mod is a content mine and it's pretty well made. Again, the path you will likely play is well made. And for all those reasons, I'm putting it in front of Point of View in A tier. And while we're at it, we can also talk about like the very unfinished sequel to it, Residual Agent, where he plays a zombie, which is apparently just a copy of Half-Life Zombie Edition or something, I don't really recall. And it wasn't really fun, it was pretty confusing, so I'll put that one in D tier, I'm gonna be honest, it really wasn't fun. Maybe with some more improvements and updates, it will be good, but currently, nah. And I'm not sure if it's even getting updated anymore. Okay, this next one is Half-Life 2 Siren. I'm gonna be honest, I 100% forgot about this one. I just looked at the video because I genuinely had no memory of this. And even looking at the video, still no memory. What I'm seeing in the video though, it doesn't look that great, so I'm gonna give this one a D tier, I'm sorry. It really looks like a beginner map. I don't know when I talked about this. Local Motive, now here's a good mod. This mod is somewhat short, it's like 1 hour long, maybe 40 minutes. The most impressive thing about it that stood out back when I first played it was the custom animations for human NPCs. Like you get this animated intro sequence that was really well made, and because of those animated sequences, you immediately like feel a deeper connection to these characters, and you will accompany them through most of this mod. It's just one big level, where you just walk to like a factory, like a combined factory, and take them out and escape by a train. Local Motive, local motive. I have no complaints about this mod. This is a flawless little experience. It also got like a Redux version somewhat recently, like 3 years ago or something. I think the OG mod's like 10 years old, and I played the Redux version. It's really fun. It's somewhat short, but it's genuinely flawless in that time, and I have like some kind of personal connection to it. I'm gonna put it above the Burton Equation A tier. I don't think most people will agree with this if they play the mod, but it's like at least a B tier in I think everyone's list, like at the very least. Next up, we've got another GOAT, Half-Life Field Intensity. A Half-Life 1 mod where you also play as a HECU soldier. That is like one of the, I think it's like one of the holy trifecta of Half-Life 1 mods. The holy trifecta being Half-Life Field Intensity, Half-Life Echoes, Half-Life Insecure, and Half-Life Delta Particles. Which isn't a trifecta, but you get what I mean. Field Intensity, it's been a while since I last played it, to be honest, but I remember like flawless level design, bringing back some cut characters, that was also great, and I think there was some crossovers with the Half-Life storyline, like you got to see like some places and stuff. I think there were like Half-Life multiplayer levels in it, which is really cool, which I didn't notice when I first played it. Thomas pointed it out to me. And there's also a story going on involving your character and a friend of yours, which I won't spoil. I won't say anything, it's a great story. I also remember there being a part where you have like 12 soldiers following you, which was also really cool. This one is an easy S tier, which isn't even a debate. I'm just thinking about where exactly. For me personally, I'm putting it ahead even of Black Mesa Blue Shift. Mostly because I think Blue Shift would be ahead of it with a trimmed down Zen section, and I think Field Intensity is better than Delta Particles, even though it's missing like a companion that follows you, like a custom companion like Diana in Delta Particles. But for me personally, I would rather replay Field Intensity again than Delta Particles. But that's just me. Next up, we've got another Half-Life 2 Workshop one, Whoopservatory. Whoopservatory is made by the same person that made Mission Improbable, if I'm recalling correctly. It's definitely a shorter mod, it's only like set in one big building, but it's a lot of fun still. It doesn't have any like spectacular moments, once again, but I don't remember having any complaints about it. I think there was like one puzzle where I got like stuck, if I remember correctly, but I may be wrong on that. I played this like 1 year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know. But yeah, again, no complaints about this one. I think it lasts for like 30 minutes maybe. This is just another like classic Half-Life 2 Workshop campaign at this point. I'm putting it at the top of B tier. I think that's fair. I remember this being pretty good, but it certainly isn't like anything too grand. In a similar category, we've got Rush Hour. This is a Half-Life 2 survival map where you'll fight alongside Alex. You're like in this one train station and you just fight oncoming waves of enemies. Really not much to add. This isn't like a classic campaign mod, so this is a bit different in like its rating. That being said, for what it is, it's pretty fun, and I think this will again land somewhere in B tier. I'm gonna put it in the bottom of B tier because it's pretty hard to judge like a survival map in this case, but it was fun. Well, next up we've got another mod that I've been debating making a video about for a while now. Half-Life 2 New Times. I only played this on stream like, I think like about half a year ago, 1 year ago, something like that. Really great mod. Really great Half-Life 2 mod. The only reason I didn't make a video about it is because there's nothing too noteworthy going on. It's like this regular story of like a rebel fighting the Combine in City 17 and other similar areas like that. It's perfectly executed all the way through. You even meet like a custom companion there, like a Metro cop that was like hurt or something and joins you on your side. You revisit some old locations. It is genuinely flawless and it lasts for like 3 hours, I think. This is very easily S tier. And I think it's above Thunder's Leaves. Like, it's really good. We're currently looking at top 6. Again, I would make a full video about this, but I couldn't say anything new about it that I haven't said about The Citizen or something. Like, it's too regular. Like, that's its only flaw, really. Next up, we've got another Half-Life 2 Workshop mod. Even though I didn't play this on the Workshop, but I think it will be on there. Blasted Lands. This is a somewhat regular Half-Life 2 mod with more survival elements. You can, like, search, like, card trunks and stuff. It was very, like, dark in theme. I think the entire mod is set at night, and you fight through, like, ruins. And from what I heard, I think there's a second part in the works, like a sequel to Blasted Lands. Blasted Lands, I had no problems with it. It was pretty short and no, like, spectacular moments. There was, like, one funny moment in there with a grenade you can throw in, like, a room. I think it will be top of C tier, because I think I remember it being, like, a tiny bit bland. It was, like, unique in its aesthetic, but I kind of left it, like, underwhelmed. There was a concept there that could have been executed greatly, and it was, but something was missing, and I couldn't tell you what. But in my subjective taste, this is top of C tier. Next up, we've got last week's video, Half-Life Reprocessing. I think I made myself clear in my video. This is S tier, in front of Heat Intensity, honestly. It's so great. This is such a great mod. I could only repeat myself. Great new factions, great story going on, great companions, great level design, great new weapons. Flawless. Next up is Arctic Rumble, which I barely remember as well. I think this was another, like, Epistle 3 mapping competition entry. There was, like, this one defense segment to it. I think this was rather short though, this map. Again, I don't think there was too much noteworthy going on here. I'm putting this behind Trek to Borealis, because I remember Trek to Borealis being the best map of that competition. Unfortunately, it was just way too short. Like, I wanted way more, so yeah, behind Trek to Borealis. Actually, I think it's time for another adjustment. I don't think Trek to Borealis deserves to be in C tier, even if it's only 5 minutes in length. If not alone for the fact that it's, like, the only Half-Life 3 mod ever made. So, we're putting it in B tier, behind Freeman and Bob. Rush Hour is still behind it. Freeman and Bob lasts longer and has, like, more unique gameplay elements. But it doesn't deserve to be in C tier. That's, like, the only thing I wanted to change. We've got another GOAT contender here, Half-Life Echoes. This is another one of the greats of Half-Life 1. It's like, it's part of the holy trifecta that's actually 4 entries. It's got perfect level design with beautiful lighting. That's, like, the one thing I loved about it the most. The lighting there, oh my god, like, these colorful lights and stuff. I loved it so much. We got the Kingpin added back with some cool lore going on, which I won't say too much about. It involves seeing, like, the future and events that haven't yet happened in Half-Life 2. I won't add anything more to that. It involves a lot of new characters, like HEV Barney, like HEV suit wearing Barney, which was pretty novel back when I played it. I'm not sure if it was actually, like, the first mod to ever do it, but I remember that standing out. And yeah, the level design was great. There was, like, there were, like, a ton of cool moments. Like, even just envisioning in my head right now, I have, like, 5 cool moments in my head immediately that happened. 6 cool moments probably. Like, there's so much to this mod that's just so fun to play. Like, boss fights even are happening. The ending boss fight was cool. The ending cinematic was cool. That's, like, well, it's not a cutscene since you can still play it yourself, but, like, the ending is also really great. This is 100% S tier, and I'll fight anyone who disagrees on that. My question right now is this in front of Reprocessing? Again, up until, like, a few weeks ago, this was very clearly my favorite Half-Life 1 mod, but now I still have to give it to Echoes. I'm sorry. Half-Life Echoes just, it has its place in my heart. I think Reprocessing may become my favorite given, like, a few more years, but right now, Echoes remains on top by a very close margin. We're talking, like, best of the best here. Next up, we've got Nightmare House 2. This is another horror mod that I covered, like, way back on my channel. Really fun mod. I don't like horror, mostly. I'm kind of anti-horror. I don't really like horror. But the same goes for, like, Alchemilla, and I can still respect Nightmare House 2. It isn't, like, super scary. Even at a certain point, it becomes more like a Resident Evil-like game, I guess, because there's a lot of combat going on. The story it tells, I think, given, like, now it's somewhat basic, but back then when I first played it, I remember, like, I was blown away by how great it was. It's still pretty good. Like, it's a predictable plot twist at this point though, but I won't get into it too much. Great level design, great atmosphere, great everything. Like, this is an entirely custom-made mod, not set in the Half-Life universe. Like, this is its own thing. Genuinely no complaints. This will go into S tier because it also lasts for like 5 hours or something. I'm putting this in front of Black Mesa Military. That's how far I'm willing to go. It's not in front of Thunder's Leaves for me personally, but yeah, definitely deserves to be up there because this is a great mod. Also, I think there's a remake in the works. I think it has been like released on Steam or something. I don't remember it exactly. I'll just dub over my voice right now with what actually happened. The original mod is on Steam and a remake is in the works right now. That's very cool, right? Oh, I think a lot of you have been waiting for this one. Half-Life Hourglass. A Half-Life 1 mod. That is... I think I've kind of like erased it from my brain. I barely even remember it, but it's been so recently. The only thing I remember is that I hate it. It's the worst. Oh my god. Is this below Paranoia too? I think so, yeah. This mod had not a singular fun moment in it. It had attempts at lore that were very shitty, like very not thought out, with like time travel involved and stuff, and it didn't really consider everything. Awful story, awful gameplay, awful level design for very most of it. There were like barely any like acceptable moments, even like everything sucked in this. Plus, the creator was gooning to a level unimaginable. You get cutscenes where you hear pop sounds playing. You get like Playboy images in a bar or something. No reason at all. Yeah, this is below Paranoia 2. This is the worst thing to ever come out of the Half-Life modding community. By far. By far. Now here's another mod you likely haven't heard about. I only played this on stream once. Half-Life: The Last Goodbye. This is a total conversion mod where you play as a detective on like a mission to like catch some mafia boss. It's got like cutscenes involved, it's got a whole new aesthetic to it. It's really cool. The only thing is, only like chapter 1 has released thus far, and for me it only lasts like an hour just about. It's very much unfinished, but once it's finished, I think this will be like a GOAT of the Half-Life modding scene. Even right now it's super great. The only reason I haven't made a video about it is because it's so short. I couldn't really say that much about it, as cool as it is. In the meantime, I will link this video in the description made by Azure, an underrated source creator. Go check that out if you want a full review of this mod. But yeah, given the potential it has, I think this is like a similar case to Route to Evacuation. This will be S tier, above Route to Evacuation, just because of how unique it is. Next up, we've got the aforementioned Mission Improbable. This is, I think, the mod that got me to Half-Life 2 modding as a whole. I don't know how I found this mod back then. I think I saw it in like, I believe, actually let me think about it. I think I saw this in like the Half-Life 2 community tab. I think I saw like a screenshot of this mod and I looked in the comments and saw what it was and like got my dad to install it for me. If I remember correctly, I'm really not sure anymore. But yeah, this mod shaped me. Such a cool mod. Entirely new visuals. It isn't super long, but then again, it will last like 2 hours, so this is totally fine. I wish it was longer because it's so good though. You visit like a rebel hideout in the middle of it, which is something you know I love, and you get to like stay in it. You get like this unique character in a wheelchair, which was really cool. I'm sad it wasn't implied to be like the same guy from Half-Life Decay, which this would have been a cool crossover, even though you would have to question how does a guy in a wheelchair escape like Mesa during the Resonance Cascade. But maybe he did it, we don't know. But yeah, it isn't the same guy, but still, this mod is peak in every single aspect. I mean, you even get a rainbow in the skybox at one part. Do I have to say anything more than that? So yeah, this mod is beautiful. I'm giving it an S tier easily. I'm putting it right in front of Nightmare House 2. It's still behind Thunder Sleeves for me, because Thunder Sleeves is on a similar level with aesthetics. Yeah, that's where it is for me. I very much consider this a must-play mod. Like, if you want to get into Half-Life 2 modding, this is a great place to start. Play Mission Improbable. Next up, we've got Half-Life Azure Sheep. Now, this one is pretty good, first off. Azure Sheep is a very good Half-Life 1 mod. You even got like a custom companion there, Kate. Both Kate and Just Barney, who's the protagonist, are both iconic. You get connections to the Half-Life lore. I remember the level design was also very good. Not quite as good as like a Field Intensity or something, but it's really good. It's also a very old mod at this point. That being said, I remember Azure Sheep having like some small problems, but it's also been so long, so my memory might be fuzzy about it. It will go into S tier, but I think it will be the bottom of S tier. I think that's what I give Azure Sheep. Now next up is a mod that is very personal to me. In this mod you are a drunk deadbeat whose wife left him and ran away with the kid. That's not the reason it's personal to me, just to be clear. But yeah, even though you are like this dipshit of a person, that is put aside for most of this mod, and you kind of forget up until the ending where you find your wife again, and then you're like, I don't deserve this. And that's kind of what this mod reflects. I don't know, it's very beautiful, and the level design is really beautiful. Like the beginning house level where you have to figure out how to get out of the house because your wife locked it up before leaving. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is very subjective. I'm gonna be clear. This is very subjective. Nobody will put it this high, aside from me. It still is like in my very personal like top 3, but I don't want to give it like that high of a score. I just can't. And I think it's a bit outdated now because I have another new favorite mod now, which we'll get to later down the line. Sprucescape will go into S tier in front of Nightmare House 2. That's where I put it. In front of Nightmare House 2. That's a good spot for it, I think. It isn't, because nobody else will agree with this, but for me, that's a good spot. Now here's another mod I didn't enjoy, Mistake of Pythagoras. This mod is very slop. This mod is slop. It's weirdly artistic though as well. It's got like some good level design practices, like game design practices I guess. But then other times it just simply doesn't. It's got like this artistic hint to it because you visit like these real life locations that existed once or were like drawn by architects back in the day. It's a very odd experience. This is like a Half-Life 2 mod on acid. But I'm gonna have to be real, it isn't fun. It simply isn't fun to play. So this will go into C tier, even behind Prospekt. I'm gonna be real, this is the bottom of C tier, this mod. Talk about not fun. Half-Life Wanted. I talked about this a few weeks ago. This was another title on the Counter-Strike CD. Good design, somewhat of a story going on, even though it's a bit weird. A great theme, like great custom content. There's a lot going on in this mod. That's right, like a lot of good going on in this mod. But unfortunately, the balancing absolutely sucks. If like some certain small gameplay sections were fixed, this could very easily be like an S tier alongside adjusted enemies. But as it is right now, it's unplayable, straight up. It's genuinely unplayable. There may be like, someone had a theory that maybe if I play on normal it would work. I'll put a text on screen right now if that changes anything. Weirdly enough, it actually does. Normal seems significantly easier than easy, which doesn't make sense because according to the game files, all the HP numbers and damage values are all properly adjusted, so this doesn't make sense at all. But it does seem easier. It's still very unbalanced overall, but it's better on normal. Somehow. It doesn't really affect my rating too much though, since it's still unbalanced. So yeah, just ranking my one experience with this mod, which was awful. This will be in D tier, but top of D tier at least, because it's like got some cool stuff going on otherwise. Now next up, we've got Entropy 01. Now this mod gets a lot of hate, because people are used to the standard of Entropy 02, and I think I must realize that I'm part of the problem here, because look at S tier. Like, I only talk about the best of the best, and because of that people think that Half-Life modding looks like S tier. When back when I started, like in 2016 or something, like it was long before that, but like my peak was 2016 probably, mods sucked. Most mods were really bad. Like you got these mapping competitions that were like the main releases you got, and most of them were mid at best. Then you got like these gems in there, and Entropy 01 was a gem. It was a huge gem. Like that was like one of the best mods back then. I will admit though, as things have changed, as I've spawned and caused this, that people only know about these mods, Entropy 01 is lower now in like by today's standards. It is still really good though. Like you get to play as a Combine, it's an immersive experience as a Combine, it's a great experience as a Combine. It's got some weird moments in there, but still, anything below A tier is crazy. Genuinely, it's crazy. So yeah, for me, Entropy 0 will go to very top of A tier. Very top of A tier, I think that's fair. Now next up, this took a while, but we've got The Citizen Returns. This is the sequel to The Citizen, which I put in A tier here. Returns is better than the first one. You've got like this one segment where you get to choose like multiple ways of playing a rescue mission. The ending is beautiful. You actually like feel like you're achieving something as the citizen, as in the fight against the Combine. And yeah, Returns is great. Basically flawless. It's got this classic touch to it still. The level design is a lot better than the first part, but it's still noticeable. It's like old, but still. It's basically flawless. Like, this is a great experience. And you get another rebel hideout near the end, which, you know, I love. So yeah, The Citizen Returns will go to S tier, honestly. I will put it in S tier in front of Azure Sheep. In front of Azure Sheep, that's the one thing I'll do. But yeah, The Citizen Returns, it's really worth playing. Next up, we've got A Hero Once More. This was again another mapping competition. It's now on the Half-Life 2 workshop. This map is great. This is another like map where I've got no problems. And at one point you get to control a Combine mortar. My jaw dropped when I first played this like 10 years ago or whatever. But it is pretty short. I think like 20 minutes again, 30 minutes is another like classic Half-Life 2 workshop map. It is better than most of B tier though, so I'll put it in A tier. Very bottom of A tier. This is a great map. Next up, we've got 1187. This is a mod I talked about a while ago on my channel. This is a really great experience. It's very noticeably an amateurish map again. Like, there's some flaws going on. The level design isn't always perfect. The gameplay isn't always perfect. But the ending, oh my god, I can't even tell you. It's a spoiler. It's a huge spoiler. The ending. Go and play it, or go watch my full video on it. I'll tell you right now. The ending involves the 7-hour war starting. Like, you get to see the Combine coming through a portal. Look at this. Look at this. This is so peak. This is so well made. Unfortunately, this mod is only episode 1. Like, there were sequels planned, but they never happened. There's like this one weird spin-off to it, like a bonus map. That's technically like 1 more minute past the ending, but that doesn't count really. 1187 for what it is? The enjoyment isn't that high, I'll be real. I remember that it being like a slight chore because there were like some weird moments during it. It will be an A tier because it also got some highlights, and the ending especially is like really great. Some comment wasn't that great though, so I'll put it in front of Point of View. That's where I'll put it, in front of Point of View. Next up, another GOAT, Swelter. Another very clear case of an S tier mod. You got like this whole lore going on about different factions of rebels with differing ideologies and you being like a mediator between them. If I recall correctly, it has been years since I played this. But it's a really great mod. It's set in like Kazakhstan, I believe. Like, it's great. It's really great. You get custom weapons, you get this whole new lore going on. The ending was great. S tier, very clearly. Just where do I put this in S tier? This is very fairly a lot of people's favorite Half-Life mod, and I'm there with you. And it's not my favorite, but I think I'll put it. Honestly, I didn't expect this, but I put it in front of Echoes. That's how I put it. Behind Uprising, but in front of Echoes. That's where it goes. I think it's noticeable that Source mods are a bit above Gold Source mods for me. Like, this is Gold Source mods, which I also love, but Source just about wins over them. For me, that's just very subjectively me, but yeah, that's why like the top 3 are Source mods. But we've got 3 Gold Source behind it, so very tiny margin we're talking about here. Okay, next up we've got a project I'm very sad about, Half-Life Interlude. This was another episode 3 project that only released 1 map, and unfortunately, and this is like based on a ton of differing reports, like every few weeks someone contacts me and gives me a different story about it. I think Half-Life Interlude is cancelled. I don't think it's happening anymore. It may only be 1 developer that's doing it right now, and it may take years until we get something more out of it. So don't expect anything from this mod to happen anymore, which is very sad because the first map is so great. That being said, it only lasts for about 30 minutes, so in this list it will be a bit lower than S tier, but let me think. I'm putting it in A tier in front of Local Motive. That's where I'm putting it. For it being like an episode 3 project, and you got a Barney voice actor in there that was, oh my god. Don't even get me started. I'm so sad it is cancelled, or probably never happening at least. Next up, we've got Crack Life. Oh boy, people will be really mad about my opinion here. Crack Life? Look, was I once 14 years old? Obviously, right? Did I think the edgier, the funnier? Yes, I did. Did I, however, grow up now? Yes, I did. Have my opinions changed? Yes, they have. Do I still think Crack Life is good? No, I do not. Yeah, for me, Crack Life, I'll put it in D tier. I'll put it behind too many crates in front of Gman CCU. I think my horror map is worse than this still. I think my horror map is worse than racism. I wish it would be like a new Crack Life version, just focusing on like dumb humor, like update the humor a bit, like just make it like brain rot memes or something. I don't know, like loud and racism doesn't equal funny. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. A very controversial opinion of mine, I know. Next up we've got Year-Long Alarm. This mod is very good. It's a clear case of Half-Life 2 Workshop mod, as with the entirety of B tier basically, most of it at least. But this one was of very high quality. This was like another one of the first mods I ever played, and it shaped me once more. This is what got me into Half-Life, the modding community this got me into loving it. I will give this top of B tier. Very top of B tier. Next up, we've got Eye Candy 2. This is another mapping competition that I talked about once, in which there's an entry of mine. I made a map in this. So this will kind of be paradoxical again, because I gave every single map in there a rating on their own, but as a whole, Eye Candy 2, I remember it being fun. Like, there were some bad entries in there, some good ones, but overall they were kind of good. Like, they shifted towards good, which is why I'll put this right next to the whole Half-Life tower, but in front of it. I think this is overall like a better experience, and also my map is in there. I'm biased. Next up, we've got Evacuation, another great Half-Life 2 mod. This one is also on Steam, interestingly enough. It's like 2 hours long, I think, if I recall correctly. You get custom weapons in there, custom enemies. Everything seems custom. It's got like this custom theme to it, I guess. The one thing is this mod is too short. I said 2 hours. I think it's more like 1 hour, and it leaves to be desired. Like, you want more. It's good though. Like, the 1 hour you get is good, which is why this mod will clearly go into A tier, but at the kind of at the top. I'll put it in front of Entropy 0. There's less problems with this than Entropy 0. It's shorter, but I like it. I would rather replay Evacuation than Entropy 0. I think that's a fair enough rating. We've got another like kind of slop entry, Resident Evil 2. Like, this is a Half-Life 2 Workshop mod that was I put it in like my 15 Half-Life 2 Workshop mods list. This one was fine. It was interesting enough, but it surely has some problems. This was definitely someone's first map or like second map or something. This will only go into C tier. It's at least like playable, like you won't hate your experience with it. In front of Alchemilla, behind Get Alive, I think that's fair. Snowdrop Escape, made by the same creators as Swelter. This one I kind of disliked back when I made my video on it. Well, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was fine, but I was quite critical of it, which I think in hindsight was too much. It surely had some problems, but it's still one of the greats of Half-Life modding. That being said, there is like this multiverse story to it, and I hate multiverse stories, like of any kind. So Snowdrop Escape will be A tier behind Poke 646. That's where I'll put it. Next up, we've got Estranged Act 1. There's also Act 2, but that's not in the source engine, so I will not be counting that. Strange Act 1 is great though. This was another one of my favorite Half-Life mods back in the day. There really are no complaints about it. I really enjoyed this. Like, even thinking back to it, I'm getting nostalgic thinking about it. It was a lot of fun. The ending was quite a cliffhanger. That was like the only negative aspect I remember. So this will be... it will still be S tier in front of the Citizen Returns. That's where I put it. Next up, we've got Sniperville 2. This is another mapping competition which had 3 entries. One of them was fine, one of them sucked, and one of them was really cool. It was like this mini game where you like had to find out who was stealing gnomes in like another building you stand in front of, and you have to snipe them, and you only get 1 shot. This one was pretty cool. Given that the other maps are kinda though, this will be in B tier. I put it alongside the other mapping competitions at the bottom of it. Next up, we've got Deep Down. This is a classic Half-Life 2 mod, which I don't really remember too well anymore. I remember the ending, you go into like a cave with an advisor in there. You have like Alex as your companion throughout the entire thing, which doesn't fit into Half-Life 2 canon, but I guess it isn't super important. I'll give this one... I remember there being like some like amateurish parts. It's still good though, it's definitely good. I'll give this one bottom of A tier, very bottom of A tier. Yeah, getting back to episode 3 mods, Half-Life 2 Infinite Finality, another scrapped project. Actually, I think it's still in the works, maybe? I don't know, to be honest. The team behind it got exposed for like some questionable things, but I won't get into it too much, because I don't know all the facts. The demo we got to play though, which actually lasted for a while, like 1 hour I think, was really great. It had like this Magnussen and Dr. Kleiner voice actor, both of which were incredible. Like, I thought it was AI, I was convinced it was AI. It wasn't. Listen to this.
Oh dear. Well, let's hope that the Combine aren't,
This is no time for waffling. Every moment's delay brings the Combine closer to securing the Borealis.
So yeah, that's like goosebumps when I listen to it. So I think Interlude was more polished, but that's because they only had 1 map and they polished the hell out of that one. While Infinite Finality gave you more maps, which weren't super polished yet. I think both of them have infinite potential basically, and I'm still gonna put Infinite Finality in front of Interlude, because it gave us so much more. And that one segment where you talk to Magnus and Dr. Kleiner, oh my god, don't get me started, it's so peak. Next up we've got Outport, classic Half-Life 2 workshop map. It's pretty good, it's short, it's fine, it's sweet. I'll put it right behind Power Tower. Next up we've got Forest Train, another Half-Life 2 workshop map. It didn't release on the workshop originally, but you get what I'm saying. This one is a bit longer, like 30 minutes. I really loved this one back when I played it. You do play an important role in like the resistance, because you stop a train from getting squished basically by a Combine shield. So yeah, because I loved this one back in the day so much, I'll put this at the top of B tier. I really love Forest Train, so top of B tier. Next up we've got Rebel Surge. This one takes place during the teleportation sequence in Half-Life 2, during the Uprising, where it's said that Gordon Freeman like gets teleported somewhere else briefly and then gets teleported back. I think that was the lore at least, I'm pretty sure. This one is good. It doesn't last for long, again. It's like this regular Rebel in City 17 mod, but you're actually Gordon Freeman. And it's really high quality. It used map base back when that was kind of new, I think. So it's got like changes depending on what difficulty you play on, but like major in-level changes, like the levels change, the enemies that spawn change. I think stuff like that happened. So yeah, this is definitely of higher quality, so I'll put this right behind Half-Life Caged. Next up we've got Minerva Metastasis. This is another great Half-Life 2 mod, made by a Half-Life developer if I'm recalling correctly. Am I? Oh, okay. But yeah, anyways, you are tasked with storming a Combine base on an island, and there's like this peak moment there where a portal opens and a gunship comes flying out. It's so great, it's so great. It lasts for about an hour, I think. You've even got a bit of a story going on with someone talking to you the entire time, like, over text and stuff. This is great, this is a really great Half-Life mod. I'm putting this one at the top of A tier, behind Evacuation and Entropy 0 though. Very much worth playing. Fun fact, it was also the very first mod on the Half-Life 2 workshop as a test upload, because it was made by a Valve developer. Next up we've got Diffusion. This is barely a Half-Life mod anymore, it's on another engine and it isn't set in the Half-Life universe and it doesn't even have Half-Life in its title. But it kind of feels like one, so this is why I'm putting it in here. Every Half-Life fan will enjoy this. Great lore, great characters, great everything. Level design, stunning moments, multiple stunning visuals. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I could go on. There's so many custom weapons, so many custom mechanics. You level up your character throughout and the story. Oh my god. I can't even begin to like... I talked about this mod somewhat recently. I still recommend watching that video if you're interested in more. I talked for like half an hour in that video because this mod deserves that. It's so good. This one will go into S tier, right behind Entropy 02 for me. For a while I put it above, but I think now it's below Entropy 02 for me, only because Entropy 02 fits to the Half-Life lore, and I love Half-Life so much, so it's got like the very slightest of edge there, but they're interchangeable basically for me. Okay, the final entry. Undertale. Undertale is incredible. Undertale is peak. You've got so many voiced characters, so many interactions with them. Like, my entire life is shaped by Undertale. I think about Undertale so much. Peak gameplay, which admittedly there's a bit much backtracking going on sometimes. Outside of that, it's so good. Oh my god, level design is so peak, the setting is so peak. To think of this underground facility that you're in, where every level was planned out and you visit all of them step by step basically and try and fight your way out, oh my god. It's so good. And the lore going on, there's so much lore to decipher and so much unsolved questions still. And unfortunately, Undertale is only chapter 1. We've got chapter 0, which is like a pre-intro, and then chapter 1, and that's where it ends. Chapter 2 never got released and will never be released. Because if you didn't know already, the creator MXD, as of the release of this video, passed away about 2 months ago. It is a tragedy, a true tragedy. Rest in peace, MXD. Thank you so much for making the best mod of all time. This mod, for me, is at the very top. Hey there everyone, coming at you live from the editing room. I've noticed some dire mistakes in this list, which I will correct now. First off, I've looked at some videos of Edge of Darkness and it looks pretty fine, so I'll move it to the bottom of B tier because it looks like a solid mod and it's a bit long, like 20 minutes, so bottom of B tier for Edge of Darkness. Next up, I've alluded to it and I'm going to solidify this opinion. Thunder's Leaves will go up a bit more. For me, Thunder's Leaves is as enjoyable as in Front of Feet intensity even. That's where I'll upgrade it to. Thunder's Leaves is really good. Next up, Rebel Surge. Great map, but it isn't A tier. It belongs alongside all the other like Half-Life 2 workshop mods, quote unquote. I'm putting it in front of Whoopservatory. I think that's a fine spot. Next up, Residual Point and Sweet Half-Life are way too low. They will both be moving up to A tier. The bottom of it, but they both well deserve A tier. Next up, Output. Good map, just a slight adjustment. It isn't that good. It isn't better than Precursor, which is why I simply do this. Very simple. And Sniperville isn't B tier, I'm sorry. The minigame, I kinda loved it back in the day, but this isn't a B tier. This is a C tier actually. And speaking of C tier, Blasted Lands, also another slight adjustment, will be going to B tier because I can recommend playing it. Same goes for Tele Aqua. I don't know why I put it on this low. It's fine, which is why it will be moving to the bottom of B tier as well. Arctic Rumble, let me actually put it up a tiny bit. Same with Get a Life. Get a Life is better than Sniperville. Arctic Rumble, I simply have forgotten what it was about. It was mostly just one defense segment with a short like intro and outro. It will stay in C tier. Maybe if I played it again I will put it higher, but I may also put it lower, which is why I'll keep it at the top of C tier. For another adjustment, I'll move out Eye Candy 2 and the whole Half-Life Tower Source, because they are really fun to play. They will stay in B tier, but I will move both to the top of B tier. And lastly, there are 3 entries that I forgot on my channel. 3 mods I completely forgot. One I already mentioned is Estranged Act 2, which I said I put in middle of B tier. And it isn't as good as the first part, but it's still fun to play. I'll put it somewhat top of B tier, right here. You basically completely lose the Half-Life feeling of it, which is a detriment I feel because of the engine switch, but it's well worth playing still. There's a big gap between the two, but paradoxically in my head, I rank them similarly still. So make of that what you will. Now here's 2 entries I completely forgot. Research and Development. Great mod. It's only puzzles basically, completely only puzzles. It is a clear S tier, but I just don't know where exactly. This is another mod that inspired me as a kid back in the day. I'll put it behind Raising the Bar Redux. And lastly, the final mod is Sebastian. This is a short mod where you play alongside Barney. It's good, it's fine, it's like another classic Half-Life 2 workshop mod, even though it's not actually from there. As I said like a billion times in this video. This one will go into B tier, but it's good. It will go in front of Whoopservatory, and while I'm at it, I'll move Whoopservatory behind Overflow, because Overflow is pretty good. And Precursor will move in front of both of these as well, because Precursor is also pretty good. Let me take a look at all this again. Am I fine with this? Evacuation is too short. I'll move down a hero once more and Deep Down, because Sweet Half-Life and Residual Points are more finished products, I feel. I mean, a hero once more is great, but it isn't that long. Which again, I think there will be discussions about it in the comments, if that's fair to include. Actually, let me move it between them, to be the funnier option. But yeah, this is fine. This is my final list. So yeah, back to past me. This video is way longer than I expected. I thought this would be like a 30-minute video where what? I'm like recording for like 2.5 hours now. Thank you so much for watching. Again, consider supporting me on Patreon. It's seriously the biggest help you can give me. Like if you've got any spare funds, it's at $3. Please consider supporting me there. Otherwise, just like this video, give it like the hype boost thing and whatever. Comment what do you agree with, what do you disagree with. There's certainly a lot to disagree and agree with here. And let me know what you think of this video. This is like a very different video than what I usually make. Consider checking out another video on screen right now in this direction. There's multiple ones here. And yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching.